So this is a part of the podcast where I give you any marketing business advice, like a mini consultation. Is there anything that you're struggling with, or something you need an extra set of eyes and ears on to think through?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're looking at our website, which is not great, and that's like one of the things that is on our list to kind of like rebuild. Though we haven't touched the website much,
Hmm.
it's one of the things that I'd like to kind of get updated to represent the quality of work we're doing,
Hmm.
and and at the same time, I'm trying to see, what we have this great network of other guys. Even you interviewed a buddy of mine, Paul from Philadelphia Table Company, and
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
um,
He's awesome.
so we have a group text going with 10 or 12 different guys that are in a similar position to us, and so we can bounce ideas off each other, and they're in different
Hmm.
parts of the country and that type of thing. And but seeing a lot of everyone's facing similar problems of like, how do I staff up? How do I, get more equipment? How do I, take risks in a good way? How do I sell more tables? Sell more product, whatever it is. And I think that's one of those things where when I talk to guys that are further down the road from me,
Yeah.
I think you met a mentor of mine, Mark Jupiter,
Oh
and
yeah. Yeah.
and I am able to pick his brain here and there on how we should be built growing a brand, and and yeah, there's the thing that he comes back to that some of the best advice that he's given me, and some of the best advice that I think is what I'd love your thought on too, is like, I think the best success, especially in a custom market of what we're doing, of trying to build, which is still a fraction of like an American furniture,
Yeah.
um, is relational. And there's people out
Yeah.
there building great brands that are selling online. Thomas Mosier is one of them that I can think of.
Yeah.
Um, and without that 30, 40 years of experience and millions of dollars of capital expenditure, trying to think of like what is the best bang for the buck, in just kind of duplicating relationships, with like that ideal client. And so I don't know. I'd love to hear your perspective on that. Like, how are you seeing people grow
Yeah.
and sell?
So it's really interesting, and when I did look at your website, what I do see some areas of improvement. So maybe take a step back and see if I can reframe the question. Is like, what are some low hanging fruits maybe that you can take advantage of on your website, right? That
Yeah.
because there's only so much of you, and how can you duplicate relationships more at scale to let people know, oh, this is what we do and who we are. And so I think honestly, you're building something truly special where you are, right? The fact that you are investing in your employees, you're growing, you're 11 people. The plan is probably to grow even more. You've just projected your vision, right? Be able to have a place that people want to work at a long time. I think a low hanging fruit um, is your blog. And
Mhm.
maybe it's something that you do monthly that you
Mhm.
can just record, literally record what's happened that week in your business on your voice notes. Take a bunch of pictures because you are taking pictures all the time. You're literally taking pictures all the time. And describe the pictures, describe everything, put it, and then send it to somebody on Fiverr to write a blog post for you. And that's an every Friday thing that Josh does.
Yeah.
Josh builds the brand. And I think part of the thing that, I've learned is that in many ways we're being reactive to our business. We're being reactive to our employees, we're being reactive to clients that come in, we're being reactive to bids. But being proactive actually means that you as the leader have a few key things that you're doing all the time. It's your name, it's your brand, you're a
Mhm.
carpenter's son,
Yeah.
right? And you're not giving up the business anytime soon, and you want to get it to be as big and realize its fullest potential as much as possible, right? And so for
Right.
you, I think it is about creating, the story and documenting it as much as possible. I would take a percentage of every job or a percentage of your revenue and have a videographer just edit content and edit videos as much as possible, right? I would for every piece that you're creating, create a 5 to 6 minute video based off of it. That's what I would do. I would post it on YouTube because YouTube is the second largest search engine behind Google and it's owned by Google. I would create blogs weekly. And because what's happening here is that you're creating content, and then that 6 minute video can be broken up into 5 or 6 short videos that you can post onto your social channels. And then each of those, the captions, and you can post a full one as a blog onto your webpage. So I think you need to move into storytelling, brand building mode, because at that moment, then you are leveraging content and the platforms to reach your ideal customer. Because if I'm a interior designer, decorator, whatever, and you work with some pretty big designers, you work with some pretty big GCs and architects, right? What you can do is write blog posts and tell videos where they are part of the story, because they are part of your story. And now you're hacking into their channels. So now, as people are searching them, you come up as well. So the long game, the long game. So like I interviewed Brad at AFT Construction, and if you listen to his podcast, he said that he all he did was just write blog posts. I saw him at the Builders Show in Vegas, and he was like, yeah, I flew my whole team out here. I said, he goes, each of them are writing blog posts daily. So like what ends up and it's smart, right? Like they're showing up at booths, they're taking pictures, they're writing blog posts, they're posting it to their webpage, and anytime somebody's looking for Kohler or whatever, Makita, Festool, whatever, you show up. So it's basically like taking everything at scale, and you could probably like literally build a small little team around the pumping out of content. So like, look, if you made 9 million in furniture in 8 years, and I don't know how often that you're posting, but I bet you it's not enough. You're not putting out nearly as much content as you could. You've been so focused on getting the production and the operation and the productivity to be high. Now you need to take the results of that, which is the storytelling, the testimonials, the relationships, and putting it and leveraging those in terms of content framework. And then lastly, the stuff that goes crazy organically, you put $20 a day behind it, only targeting designers, only targeting architects, only targeting residential people in the areas that you already are working. So the places in Columbus, Indianapolis, and you can target those places on Facebook and on Instagram to literally just deliver those people ads.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that I would potentially do is, if you wanted to truly scale at a grassroots organic relationship level, would be to do a series of events. So let's just say the designer that's on your team. You get him to create a little collection for next spring. And you design the collection, you document the design and the build of the collection, the history behind it, and you literally you do one-of-one mock-ups or two mock-ups, and you partner with designer. I mean, you could collaborate with designers, do a series of events regionally, invite all those people there. Even if those people don't buy there, it'll create another conversation. And you do
Yeah.
wine, cheese, you put everything in a box truck, and you just said you go within an hour a day of you. So you go the night before, you set up in the morning, evening you do an event for 3 hours. You invite everybody that's a major influencer in that area,
Mm.
and you do that. You do a little tour. You're gonna build up a database. You're gonna write some orders, and then you're gonna get your name out even more.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. That, I mean, look, these are all things that are not new. They're just customized to basically base of where you are. Honestly,
Yeah.
the biggest thing is like you just need more output. You need more output on your stories.
Mm.
It needs
Yeah.
to be like an aggressive thing where the KPI is how many posts did I put out? How many blog posts did I put out? How many
Mm.
videos did we produce? I mean, I only see one blog post from December 2022 on your blog, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You should be putting out 3, 4 blog posts because, and who cares right now if people are looking at them? It's
Right.
the long game because it's all about search engine optimization. And
Yeah.
then if you combine that with video, that's powerful. And then lastly too is like you could probably start doing profiles of each of your employees as
Hmm.
blog posts.
Yeah.
Like I actually want to see your employees because a differentiator is that you are building something. You're building something bigger than yourself. And right now, the story is you and your family, but you have. I want to see the stories. I want to see the bios of the people on your team, and then you'll
Yeah.
get them more bought in. They'll want to produce more work. You go around, take a Friday selfie with the team. You take a selfie with the team. Like
Yeah.
people and you know these big companies that you're working with. I've worked with a
Yeah.
lot of big companies. It's all relationship. If they move to another company, you want them to take your relationship to the new person, and then
Yeah.
you want the company that they left to continue to stay with you because they're going to transfer that over. And if they
Hmm.
see that you have a culture, you have the hoodies, you have the stickers, you have the brand, you have the coffee, Friday, you're right. Like they want to see because you're mimicking what they have at their thing.
Hmm.
They don't want to work with like some, dusty, dirty shop, one solo guy. They want to feel like they're part of something bigger. So,
Yeah.
um,
Absolutely.
is that helpful?
Yeah, that's super helpful, man. I wrote down a whole list here.
Cool.